When did Skyblock become America? Now, I know in my last video, I said that Skyblock became more realistic because you can buy your hosts now instead of grinding for them. I did not expect that in just a month, this game would become more realistic than it's ever been before. Inflation and the economy is fucked, and I'm gonna fix it. I'm dripped out, baby. If I was president of the United States, this is what I would wear. White suit, diamond chain. I don't know if you can see it, but we got some Air Jordans on too, baby. We're chilling. I have my American flag, and on the other side, I have my made-up Hypixel Skyblock flag. We're just stripped out. We ready for this. I'm fixing this economy. In order to fix the economy, we first need to understand it. Now, I'm pretty sure Hypixel Skyblock is supposed to be a capitalism market. Basically, it's kind of like a private income. The players control how much money they want to make. If you want to be rich, you can be rich. Or if you just don't want to play and be poor, you can be poor. And capitalism, I'm pretty sure, basically revolves around a stock market. And we know that inflation has really peaked because of the Garden 1.5 update. The Garden 1.5 update added something in. It increases the NPC sell prices. Now, this is not necessarily a bad thing. However, the way they controlled it was terrible. Actually, it wasn't really in their control, but the outcome was not good. Basically, the NPCs, when you sell to the NPCs, you're basically printing money into the economy. And this kind of goes into real life too. A lot of people would say, oh, why doesn't the government print more money? It's very similar to Skyblock's situation with selling crops to the NPCs. If you put more money into the game without adding more items into the game, the prices of items will go up. Like I said, when you sell your crops to the NPC, you're basically printing more money into the economy. Most people don't sell their crops to the bazaar because why would they? You'd make more money from the NPC. And basically those items that you sell to the NPC, they just disappear. Now compare that to bazaar. When you sell the items for money, you're putting the item into the market. You're basically keeping the item in the economy and just trading it for money. Now the best way for us to solve this would not to be to cut the NPC sell prices. No. A lot of people don't realize is we already have a system that is supposed to regulate this printing of more money, and that is dungeons, because dungeons earns money. When you go and finish a dungeon, unless you go for the free chest, you can buy a dungeon chest, and when you spend those coins disappear. They don't go into the economy, and they don't go to a player. They just disappear. It burns out the money, and in return you get some of the most powerful and expensive items in the game regulating the economy. Now we wouldn't see this huge inflation spike if the same amount of players playing the Garden update was equivalent to the same amount of players playing dungeons, but it is not. There's more money being printed than items being made, and if we were to vice versa these items would crash. If more players were playing dungeons than making money, you would see the price of like a Necron's handle go down. Now why would this be? Is well, because the supply of dungeon items would go up, which are some of the most powerful items in the game. They would go up, but the demand would go down because people wouldn't have as much money, so the prices would tank. However, it is inverted to where more money is being printed. Do you understand what I'm saying? To where now the prices go up. And this is like a problem with minimum wage too. The value of an item will always try to match the value of the economy. For example, if like minimum wage went up about, let's say 20%, Big Mac would go up 20% too. That hurts the middle economy and the middle class. Well, the same thing applies to Skyblock. Inflation, I don't know the exact number, and let's say inflation went up 20%. Well, the price of items would go up 20%. Now, the reason they added the NPC sell prices up was to help mainly Iron Man players, but also beginner players to make more money. And in doing so, the spike and the gap between early and end game has gotten way bigger, basically evening out the economy from capitalism to basically a socialism market. And socialism is basically a private income, the opposite of capitalism, where the money is kind of regulated. It's harder for the rich to be richer, if you get what I'm saying, because when everybody's rich, nobody's rich, and that's basically what socialism is. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but for a video game, no, that is not fun. If I want to shit on the poor, I want to shit on the poor. That sounded better in my head. But now that we have a general understanding on why there is inflation and what type of market we need to make Skyblock, how do we fix it? Well, this comes to the Rift update. The Rift update is a make or break update for this game. Since it is a huge update that people have been wanting for a long time, a lot of people are going to play it. Now, the best case scenario is the same amount of players in the Garden will be equivalent to the same amount of players in the Rift. Okay, not on like the update day, but like consistently. However, if the Rift update is anything like the Garden update, this economy is doomed. Well, if the Rift update makes a money-making method to where you would sell to NPCs or anything that would kind of print more money, this game is doomed. The Rift update needs to be something like dungeons to where we can burn money and that money does not go into the economy. And that would regulate inflation. How do we bring inflation down? Because it would regulate it, but it wouldn't bring it down. The best way for us to do this that I would be happy with would to be ban macroers. Now, let's say there's 100 macroers, for example, and they ban them all. Macroers, they spend all their time in the Garden basically printing more money. If we stop that, we basically slow down the printing of more money in the Garden, and this would bring inflation down just a little bit. Another way that I've seen is to tax NPCs. Well, no, I don't like taxes, okay? Now, taxes, they suck, okay? But in the real world, they make sense. You know, you have to pay the government and for like roads and all that. But in a video game, if the admins want money, they can type in a code called get coin. That's code, but get coin. Okay, unknown command, type help. You know why? Because it's a government secret, fake news. Now, another huge thing that I've seen in like comment sections of videos is, oh, why don't they bring the prices back to normal? Yes, this would bring inflation down and regulate to how it's been before, but this would crash the bazaar and crash the auction house. Because if the admins made an update to where, oh, we just reverted the NPC sell prices back, they cannot control the prices of Bazaar. So for those first 2 hours, the prices of Bazaar will be more expensive than the prices of NPCs. And a lot of videos that talk about inflation now, they tell you to invest your items. And when they see this update, a lot of people will try to sell their items to make the most money they can. And in doing so, this would crash Bazaar. I don't know how long, but the crash would be monumental. Prices of everything would go down super quick to where it would basically be bloated. Another way that I have seen to settle the economy would be to bring Dante back. Now, I don't know how, actually I do. Ooh, I have an idea. Okay, theory. The Wizard Tower. What does the wizard do? He is magical, okay? And we have the Rift update coming. What is the Rift update supposed to be? It's supposed to be an alternate dimension to Skyblock, right? Well, what if in that alternate dimension, Dante was not killed by Technoblade, and Dante peers into our world and sees that the economy is fucked, okay? And he promises to come back and settle the economy, but leave. Well, why would he leave? He's a dictator, right? Well, because he is from an alternate universe. He cannot stay here for too long, otherwise he would just like incinerate, you know? The multiverses would not allow it. And if we look at the Alpha Network, you can see that we cannot stay in the Rift for too long, otherwise we get kicked out. But what if the same thing happens with Dante? After he regulates the economy, he leaves. But he does not leave. He teams up with the wizard and Barry, and he finds a way for him to stay and feed off the very fabric and time of Skyblock itself for him to stay in power. But what would we do at that point? We don't have Techno anymore to stop Dante. Well, that's where I come in, baby. Now, we could let Refraction or like someone like 30 Virus come in, but that's boring. Everybody knows them. Nobody knows me. Let's let the retard that nobody knows become mayor of Skyblock. I go and I fight Dante of the very falling apart fabric and time of Skyblock itself. If I lose, Skyblock is gone forever, as it will disintegrate as Dante lives. But if I beat Dante, all that power goes back into Skyblock and we keep Skyblock. The economy is regulated and I become a hero of Hypixel Skyblock. Tell me that does not sound badass. I just made that off the dome. Whoa. I just freestyled that whole story. I'm proud of myself. That was really good. I'm proud of myself for that. Now imagine I just predicted the admins' plans. What if the admins made the NPC sell prices going up because they know it would make inflation, and then right after they make the Rift update to where Dante can come back? What if I just predicted the admins' plans? Another reason to vote for me. I can predict the future. Okay, let's do it. Plus, I will be the drippiest politician you will ever see. in your life. I mean, look at this, bro. When have you seen a politician wear Air Jordans? Come on, it should be no question in my book. Anyway, boys, this video was really fun to do because I am fascinated by politics, mainly American politics, but specifically the economy. I know a lot about the economy. I'm not like an economy major. I'm only 15 and a half, so take everything I said with a grain of salt. But I saw all these videos of inflation and the economy of Skyblock, and I thought, you know what? I love studying the economy, so why don't I try to fix it? This video is kind of serious and kind of a joke. I don't know which one, but it was a blast to make. No, it's not really like the videos I make with my school stories and my funny jokes, but hey, I still had a blast making this video. Another update is finals are coming out soon. My last day of school, I think, is June 3rd, so I'm gonna take it easy the rest of May. I'm gonna have one more video come out after this one, which will be the Rift update, and after that, we are going to have the summer of a lifetime, baby. I'm making this quick video, and I'm gonna have a huge video of the Rift update and use that momentum of the Rift to go into summer, and we will dominate Hypixel Skyblock together, boys. And as I said, you will be cool. You will be represented by the Rizzler. But anyway, boys, if you made it this far into the video, clearly you enjoyed it, so hit that like button. If you're new, subscribe. Leave a comment. I respond to every single comment. Everything else you need is in the description down below. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. I'll talk to you later. All right.